When it comes to holiday movies, Home Alone was one of the best. It was dramatic, it was comical, and it was just plain good. So when the marketing went out for all the other products, of course a game had to be released. If only we knew how bad that game was going to be. First off, let's look at the credits. It's a full one page on the opening screen, seen as soon as you turn the system on. In fact, look at this. Bethesda. The same guys who developed Fallout 3 and the Elder Scrolls series. THQ also had a hand in it. I'm pretty sure they try to forget about this game when they discuss older projects. I can see it now in a board meeting. Hey guys, remember Home Alone? That game doesn't exist! It's almost like comparing Devil May Cry 2 with the other games in the series. It's just so bad it's just ignored as part of the series. Before I can get off track, let's get back to Home Alone. I'll warn you right now, there might be some foul language in here, so if you get offended easily, you may just want to hit the stop button right now. There, I've said my disclaimer. Fuck it. For those who have never seen the movie, this is the basic plot. It's about Kevin McAllister, who accidentally gets left home alone when his family goes on a trip to Paris. Two thieves named Marv and Harry are casing out the place and find out only the kid is there, so they decide to rob it anyway. However, Kevin is a bit brighter than the criminals and devises a bunch of interesting traps to halt them in their tracks till the cops come along to arrest them. You'd think that this might make for a decent game, and it may have if it was done right. Unfortunately, it isn't. The opening screen, past the credits of course, is just a generic picture of the front of the house with crappy music playing in the background. If you let it go, it'll just switch between this and the credits, all while playing the same shitty music. When you hit start to begin, you are thrust into the game, with music that's just about as shitty as the title screen playing. You start in front of the house, and this is where you'll begin to notice the many flaws with the game. The goal of the game is simple. There's Kevin and the two bandits. You play as Kevin. You need to evade Harry and Marv for 20 minutes. After that, the cops come to arrest the bandits. To evade them, you can just run around aimlessly, use traps, and hide in certain areas. This sounds easy enough, but believe me, it's anything but that. If you haven't noticed yet, the graphics are just incredibly bland. There's some decent detail in the amount of objects placed in the backdrop, but hardly any of them are useful. The traps can be taken off of shelves and such, and are highlighted by a white box. The traps are found in logical spots, so I guess that's one redeeming factor about the game. As you run around the house looking for these traps, you'll notice a few things. First, the animations are just awkward. Kevin looks like he's not running in full stride, maybe even limping, yet for an 8-year-old kid, he should be able to easily outrun the adults, because you'd think he'd have more energy. And why does he start outside? Was he trying to purposely lure the thieves in? In the movie, he starts in the house while eating mac and cheese, then he shoots Marv in the head with a BB gun. Why is there no BB gun in this game? That would have made it more interesting, at least. The traps are limited to light bulbs, Christmas tree lights, micro machines, a tarantula, curling iron, paint cans, and chandeliers. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few, but it's a moot point, because there's really not a difference between the traps other than the chandeliers. I think that keeps them down for longer periods of time. Here's my problem. These traps have limited uses. I believe the official number is 3. Once a trap is tripped that many times, it's gone. You can't use it again. This makes sense for a few things, but not for others. Like the spider. First, if you use it once, don't you think the thieves would kill the fucking thing? Second, why the hell isn't it moving around? It's a freaking spider. It just sits there, and if the thieves step on it, they fall down. Wouldn't it crush it? And why would they trip over a spider? Are they that freaking clumsy? And if so, why the hell doesn't Kevin just run away as soon as they hit a trap? Also, the chandelier. Wouldn't that incapacitate you for longer than 10 seconds or so? I think that should knock someone the fuck out if a huge freaking light set falls on their freaking head. You do need to time those perfectly, because this trap needs to be launched from the 3rd floor to on top of the victim, which is the only trap to do so. Also, if you run out of traps, you're fucked. Traps knock the thieves down for a few seconds, and the only other option you have is hiding, which is nearly useless. You can hide in certain objects, like on top of the bed and behind the Christmas tree, but after a few passes, the thieves will find you anyway. And what the hell? Why hide on top of the bed? Isn't the extra bulge under the blankets going to be noticeable? And why the hell would you hide behind a frickin' tree? Come on, there should be better spots to hide. Why not inside the fireplace? Why not in the basement under a bunch of shit that's just laying there? And the way Marv catches you in the bed just doesn't look good. I mean, come on. He comes up to you and Kevin throws up a surprised look. Just wrong. Just very, very wrong. Let me get back to the trap scan really quick. If a trap is tripped, you can pick it up again, provided it wasn't destroyed. Oh, this reminds me of another thing. Don't you think after a few falls the burglars will be looking out for these traps? Are they seriously this frickin' retarded and not seeing the stuff in the open floor? And aren't they wearing shoes? I know Marv took off his shoes really quick in the movie, but Harry still wore his. So why are the light bulbs slowing them down? And what about the paint cans? Wouldn't you just kick them around? Finally, you can only carry 3 traps at a time. You can switch between them with select, but there's really no point. You'll pause for a split second when doing that. You'll also stop in your traps when trying to pick up a trap. It's almost like the game refuses to allow you to do 2 things at one time. And while I'm on this, let me harp on the controls. A picks up traps, and B drops them on the ground. Select toggles between the shit you're carrying, and start brings up a crappy map that shows your placement of traps and where you are, along with the score and time left. I've never gotten this timer to less than 10 minutes. After a certain amount of time, apparently the traps don't knock the enemies down as long, so you can't really get away once they have their sights on you. Well, I got off track again, so let's go back to the graphics and animation. I already mentioned that Kevin looks awkward when moving, and Marv and Harry don't look any better. They all look pretty bland too. One wears green and one red. What, were they thinking about looking festive for Christmas while robbing the house? In the movie they wore black. How friggin' hard was it to make them both wear black? Did the makers even see the frickin' movie? And why does Harry have hair? Or is that supposed to be his skull cap? I don't know, to me it looks like frickin' hair. Other than the 3 people, there's no other moving parts. The house has no life to it. You don't get any changes to the level or anything. Things won't break at all, well, other than the traps. There's not even a different animation for when Kevin hides behind or in things. This just makes the game even more boring than it really should be. Running around for 20 minutes in the same freaking house might not be so bad if there was some sort of change of scenery, but there isn't. I mentioned that Kevin can't really do 2 things at one time. The worst controls in the game are the stairways. This is a part of the game that pisses me off so frequently it just makes me want to break my controller. You need to press up or down to start to get onto this top step, and then press left or right to actually move on the stairs. I can't explain how difficult this really is though. A lot of times when you think you're on the stairs, you're not. So you'll just start walking on the same floor you were on, and this could cause an easy game over. The ladder to the treehouse is just as bad. If you're not in the right freaking spot, Kevin won't climb it and he'll just stand there. Another bad spot is the stupid left side of the house. You can climb out of the window and go down the drainage pipe. You can also climb up it when coming from the kitchen, but there's a small set of stairs there. Good luck trying to move in this area. It's a draw of shit luck on whether you're going to go on the stairs, the pipe, or the kitchen floor. And if one of the thieves is coming, just kiss your ass goodbye. There's also some odd bugs in this game, but the only one I actually remember doing frequently is this moonwalk. It just shows the oddness of the controls. If you get to a certain area with the stairs, you accidentally can have Kevin walk backwards. There's really no point to this other than looks, but why is it even here to begin with? Was there any sort of QC in this game? If you do get caught, which you will get a game over screen with a bubble that says, "Oh no." I think in my original NES copy it actually shows Kevin doing it. I looked it up and apparently there were 2 versions of the game, and each had a different game over screen, but that was the only difference between the 2. Both frickin' suck. I was never able to complete the game. I tried again, but I just can't. I read that if you run up the stairs quick, hop out the window, go to the treehouse, climb to the 3rd floor, and you keep repeating this, you'll rarely encounter the bandits, but I couldn't get it to work anyway, so I gave up. I looked it up, and apparently the ending is a shitty picture of Kevin waving to Harry and Marv while they're getting arrested. Yeah, I spoiled the ending for you, but watching the movie would have done the same thing, and I want to make sure that you don't have a reason to play this piece of shit. There's nothing else I can say about the game. Put simply, this game fucking sucks. Final score? 1 out of 10. I was tempted on giving it a 0, but I can't. I don't know why, but I just can't. This is Reaper, and fuck this game.